Hi there. First and foremost, if you are watching this video, I am so incredibly sorry about what you are going through. I just thought this video could be really helpful to anyone that is experiencing a stillbirth, going through having to go to the hospital and deliver. I know that this could have been helpful to me, or at least comforting to me in some ways when I was going through it. Just to start, again, I've been pregnant 11 times. I have 2 living children. I've gone through 3 second-term stillbirths, 3 miscarriages, and 3 ectopic pregnancies. If you want more details to that, please go to my infertility story. There's part 1 and part 2 to kind of get more of an explanation on all of that. So let's just kind of dive right in. So if you want all the details to the 3 stillbirths I've experienced, please again go to that video. But just to kind of give you an overview, each one, well, one of them was very different, but the other 2 were similar. I experienced at 2 of them right at that 20-week ultrasound, the loss, finding out that the heart had stopped beating, and then one of them was a little bit earlier than that, and that was when I was actually at MFM, and they were basically telling me that the heartbeat was going to stop at any point, but then I was home trying the Doppler when I realized that he was no longer with us. So in all of those experiences, I delivered at a hospital. And so basically what happened was, if you're going through this, if you go to that ultrasound at some point in your pregnancy, beyond or just around 20 weeks, you will be delivering at the hospital, and your doctor you'll go to labor and delivery just like you would if you were delivering a living child. Your doctor will send you over there and you'll get admitted just like anyone would. It depends on the process you want to go through, but I took a very slow and as few medications approach, and so you started with just kind of some vaginal medication to help things move, and then Pitocin, and I never used any sort of, they do offer you, you could have an epidural or some other kinds of pain medication, but so you really just go through the whole delivery process as normal. You're sent to a specific wing of the hospital that there are not other women delivering babies in. It's a very quiet part of the hospital, which of the labor and delivery floor, which is obviously incredibly sad, but I guess also helpful. It's not like I never heard all 3 times I was there. The first time I was there for 2 nights, and the other 2 days, the other 2 times, it was either 1 or 2 nights. I know the last one was 1, but I never ever heard a baby cry or anything. It's definitely separate. So if that gives you any sort of peace of mind. But anyways, I'm sorry, I just lost my train of thought, but yeah, so you go through the same exact process. Every single nurse I've ever had has been a literal angel. I think the way that it was explained to me is you kind of choose your cases as a nurse and choose, who you want to help during your shift. And I think people who are choosing to work with someone who is going through such a terrible thing just speaks volumes to the kind of, nurse you're receiving. So I've only had the best care ever possible was when I was delivering my stillborn babes. But anyways, same thing. My husband's able to stay overnight, stay in the room. You get a normal area where, he has a spot to sleep, all of that good stuff. Same thing. The doctor comes and delivers. Everything is the same. You talk ahead of time with different individuals about what's your plan for burial, what's your plan for, do you want baby in the room with you? Do you want to be able to keep baby next to you? And it's basically like a special cooling thing, if you will. If you want to get handprints, footprints, basically like a whole box made, that's all up to you. You're deciding on the name and just deciding on a lot of different specifics. They talk with you very, very and very great length in the very beginning about what is your comfort level? What do you want? Do you want to allow anyone in? Do you want them speaking his or her name? Just a lot of things that make you feel really comfortable in such a terrible situation. But the first time we lost our daughter, Emmy, this was a couple weeks before Christmas. And this wonderful, wonderful nurse made such a beautiful, beautiful box for her. And they, there's like this big white box. And unfortunately, it's so depressing to say I have 3 boxes in our closet. But one of them particularly, she just did so beautifully. They put like her name, and they painted her name on it. And they gave us like this big ornament with her little hat from the hospital in it. And then she wrote in cursive like her name in it. I mean, on the outside. And so we have that on the tree. And then they made one other ornament that my daughter like keeps on her Christmas tree, because she was, again, if you go back to my old video, you know the experience with having to go through telling her, like, we still celebrate her birthday every year and everything. So having her have her own little ornament on her tree was really special as well. But yeah, they made it really special. And every time, well, the second 2 times were once we had children. So they send you home with these stuffed bears as well to take, so you have something to hold going home from the hospital instead of being empty-handed. So each of my daughters has a stuffed bear from each of the 2 children that were born stillbirth after them. And so that's really another special thing that they have, just to kind of hold on to and snuggle with. But I mean, I remember just being walked, literally this last one, like being walked literally to my vehicle, being emailed by them after I sent like a Daisy Award to the nurse, just personally emailing me, just wondering how I'm doing, and just angels on earth that I was working with. But again, just making a terrible thing slightly positive takes a very special person. But yeah, so really it's what you want it to be. It's, you can keep the baby right next to you the entire time. They will have to take him or her if you want to make any sort of handprints, footprints, any sort of like, they can make like with clay, kind of just some really cool things they can do. It's just whatever your comfort level is, but I suggest get everything you can. This is, if you're listening to anything, listen to this. Get everything they offer. And if you don't want to look at it, if it's too hard, that's okay. But it will be in that box for whatever day comes where you want to, or you want your children to, or your spouse or anyone to be able to view that. In that moment, I get it that you're just like, I don't want any of this stuff. It's just too hard, but you will want it one day. And they have a lot of great things, pictures, videos, everything. So yeah, it's really, I think, so I'm sorry, it's so sad that it's like trying to, because there's so many losses that I've had that I sometimes almost forget. With my second stillbirth loss, I had an issue with bleeding. And so then I end up having to go, I was able to deliver, but then I couldn't deliver. That's what it was. I couldn't deliver the placenta. So I had to go in for basically like a D&C to help remove the placenta. So I had a lot of extra blood loss. So I had to stay 2 nights for that one. But I believe with my most recent in April stillbirth, I was able to just stay 1 night. And so you're obviously going to stay at the hospital, likely less than you would if you had a living birth, but it just depends on, your scenario and if there's any complications. But I mean, you can stay longer. They're offering any kind of support and help. I mean, they offer support for your children. They offer support for you. They really do offer a lot of great support. And so I just say, take anything that you can, take any support that you can get, or papers, or places to call, or places, for support for you later. But just take it all now and maybe it just goes in a box somewhere. But I think it's really important to just get what you can while you're there. But again, I'm so sorry that you are going through this. And again, I hope this video is in some way helpful to know that there are a few things that they do that are wonderful and that make this terrible thing a little bit less terrible. Thanks for watching.